let's get started. I thought we'd start out by talking about some problems I had that I had to overcome, and I swore that I was not going to do another season change until I solved them. If you've been watching my videos a while, you might recognize what they are. The first one was this bookshelf. It's solid oak. I've had it since 1990. It's very hard to find a bookshelf that's this well made, but because it was so dark, all of the openings felt dark and cavernous, and it seems like no matter what I did, no matter how I tried, I couldn't make the decor stand out. And sometimes, honestly, it made me feel a little embarrassed with my videos. I knew I needed to do something. Well, I had some people tell me, why don't you paint it? And of course they meant painting the whole thing, but I didn't feel good about that because I needed to make sure my room is balanced, and that is a principle you need to be aware of as well. It's important to know that this room has a very nice shiny black grand piano on that side. If I didn't have anything over on this side to balance it, it almost makes it feel like the whole room is tipping. Then we'd have the heavy feeling on this side, and we'd have only light on this side, which would have been a mistake. I put some pot lights in trying to solve the problem. It helped a little bit, but it did not fix it. And it's quite a commitment when you paint a piece of furniture like this. So I thought, well, I'm going to try experimenting by putting some wallpaper in the back, and I found some from Amazon that was white and had a pretty gold pattern on it. I thought that's a really good beginning point. I installed it. It was a little tricky because it had a big pattern, but I got it all installed. I started looking at it for a bit and it just did not seem right to me. I thought, well, maybe it's such a big change that I'm just not used to it. But I just kept coming back to it. I tried putting some decor on it to see if that would help, but it still just seemed wrong. My husband came home and I decided I'm going to show him this big thing that I have achieved. He came in and looked at it and he goes, wow, that's really different. And I said, well, yes, it was. And I was feeling a little defensive at that moment. Then he said, it's the wrong white. And I went, oh. And then I realized it was the wrong white. And let me explain why. This is an important thing for you to learn, and if you know it, this is a really good reminder. All colors have either a yellow base to them or a blue base to them, whether you realize it or not. For instance, this shirt I'm wearing is a blue-based red. There's also a yellow-based red, which I won't wear because I don't look good in it. I have to wear blue-based reds. It's the same thing with greens, with pinks, with even blues, grays, you name it. Underneath the very bottom of every color is a yellow cast or a cooler blue cast. All of our walls are painted a really creamy white, which is a yellow-based color. And guess what? That white wallpaper was a blue-based white, and so together they really did not look right. So my husband was correct. It was a big mistake, and I knew, okay, it doesn't matter how much I paid for that wallpaper, I have to change it. I took it off, and since I was in the middle of painting a lot of furniture, I took the color of the credenza in the hall, which I knew would work, and I painted the inside. Well, I just love it, and it solved the problem. It was really important that I not paint the back of the bookshelf the same color as the wall. Otherwise, your eye would not see a stopping point, and it would feel very strange to you. I thought about painting the shelves as well, but when I was painting the interior with the shelves out, it gave me a little peek of what it would look like if they were the same color, and I realized that just is wrong. At least it was for me. So I chose to keep the warmth of the shelves so you can see what a difference it made, how the decor got lost in the dark, and now how it pops out. And it's so fun to decorate now. If we go back to the important point about the yellow base color and the blue base colors, my next mistake that I corrected will make more sense. I have a little dresser here that originally was green when I bought it. When I painted my walls, I chose to kind of mix things up, and I put a real blue base blue carpet on the floor. It was made of blue jeans and jute, so that was as blue based as you can get. I wanted to paint this little dresser, and I picked out the paint on Amazon, which meant that I didn't get a real clear look at it, and it was a beautiful color. I knew then it wasn't right, that it was a yellow base blue against my blue base carpet. And you know, that always bothered me. So another principle for you, really, if you make a mistake, just fix it. Don't let the cost of the wallpaper or the paint get in the way, because you'll always look at it and you'll think it's wrong. Step back and think, did I choose the wrong color? Because very often that is the problem. The next very important design principle that we're going to talk about that you may have heard of before, chances are you have, I'm going to challenge you to make sure you really think about it, and it is scale. I'm going to compare it to buying clothing. I'm only 5'2", and this means I really have to buy clothing that is sized for petites. It's the patterning, how the shoulders work, how it works around the middle, how the rise is on the pants. If I buy regular sized or especially talls, it won't work for me. The shoulders will go in the wrong spot. It will just look and feel wrong. Your room is the same way. Your room might be a petite room, a small room, or a medium-sized or a very large room. If you've got a small room, and this room is actually smaller than it looks on camera, don't think that I'm standing in a large room. I'm not. But I am using scale to kind of trick your eye to make it feel like it's a little bigger than it is. I made sure to buy a couch that was the correct scale. Stand by it. You're going to get a better idea. You see how low it is and how short it is? So it's actually a small couch, but it fits this small room perfectly and expands your eye, and everything works. I just bought me some new chairs. I had some black and white buffalo check that a lot of people would recognize, and they were actually small scale chairs, except the buffalo print was quite remarkable and took up a lot of eye space. They made the room feel a little bit smaller as well. When I replaced them, I made sure I got small scale chairs. Here's a peek at one of the chairs, and I'm going to come stand by it again so you can get an idea. You see, it's actually quite a small chair. And look at the arms. They're nice and open. There's not a lot of upholstery. It's short and it fits in this room very well. The good news is that you don't have to pay a lot of money for chairs that will fit your room. These are sleek, they're modern looking, and I bought them on Amazon. It is how they're designed that matters. And these are actually really good. The curve here is dovetailed, which is important. I think the tone of the wood is beautiful. It's got the openness. It's a comfortable chair for me. Now, this is not a chair that a large man would want to sit and hang out in, but for a room like this that really needs small scale furniture, they are just perfect. Choosing these small scale chairs allowed me to have something that I have never been able to have in this room, and that's a coffee table. The eye travels through the chair, and because of the coffee table I chose, it keeps going through all the way to the other wall, which actually creates space. If you've got a small room like this and you want to have a coffee table, you really need to carefully choose. Because if I had a wood table, no matter how beautiful it was, when my eye came into the room, it would stop right there at the wood and would shorten the room and make the room look smaller. Because I chose a small scale, lightweight glass table, when your eye sees the room, it travels through the glass, it goes over to the couch. All of a sudden, the room seems a little bit larger than it had. So make sure you think about that. Now, if you have an enormous room and the room is just feeling cavernous to you, well, that's a trick you can use. Make sure you're getting large scale furniture, much like someone who's tall needs to buy tall clothing. And if your eye is still feeling lost, then you can have a large coffee table with some real weight that will help your eye kind of settle. It's really important that you know the size of your room, which kind of scale is required, and you honor that. If you do, your room is going to feel so much better to be in. Another trick when you have a small room is to use mirrors. Have light just bouncing around your room. So let me show you what I mean. This is one of my favorite spots to display large art pieces. And if you've been watching my videos, you've seen some very beautiful art come in and out. Well, I just found this beautiful mirror, and it's a beveled mirror, and I got it at Savers for $14.99. I just thought I'd win the lotto. I'm using it with candles. When I light the candles in the evening, the light just reflects off and just bounces around the room. But even during the day, this mirror just opens up the room. That is why I have a mirror over in the corner of my room. Let me show it to you. This is a mirror that my mother gave me years ago. It is extremely well made, and it's the ideal mirror to put in a spot like this, which can be a rather dark spot. I've also used the same principle on this wall with this mirror. Now I'm going to be changing this wall out for Christmas, and it's going to have a beautiful, I'm so excited, art gallery of some beautiful prints that I have purchased on Etsy. You can better believe, though, I am going to have some mirror in the middle of all of that, because this room requires that I have the visual trick of having mirrors expand the size of the room. I mentioned at the first of the video, I was going to show you my living room with its neutral pre-Christmas time decor. And the reason I say neutral is because green and cream and wood tones are neutral tones, and they can be used any time of the year. I'm going to be adding Christmas, really Christmas things when it gets to be time. Let me give you the scoop on some of my decor. The beautiful pencil tree came from Michael's and was really the best deal that I could find in any store. It was $120 and is extremely well made. I'll be able to use it for years. If you don't have a Michael's near you, or the Michael's near you is sold out, try online. They will ship it for free to your local store, or will ship it to you. The hammered gold tree skirt came from Lowe's, cost $34 and was really the very best deal I found anywhere. If you're interested in this tree skirt, you better get yourself to Lowe's because they're selling fast. These little pots that I have the trees in are interesting. I found them in Hobby Lobby, but not in the Christmas area, in the area where they have supplies for house plants. I think this one's just particularly beautiful. It was on sale for 50% off, and it cost me $3.50. I think it adds a little high-class touch to this little Christmas tree. This pot is an example of the same principle. I got this over where the artificial plant supplies are. It was 50% off, and it only cost $3. And just look what a unique touch it has added to that tree. Here's another example. You see it has this kind of gray, stony look, and then the gold on the bottom. This costs $2.50 and really makes the tree look unique. So the bookshelf is filled with some things I found online, like the Amazon bells, and a good mix of family heirlooms. Here I've got my grandmother's Bible. This is a little wood bowl I already owned, and pine cones that I gathered from my backyard, and some Target dollar spot trees. This little tree came from IKEA, cost $25, and I've placed it in my grandmother's picnic basket and used a wool blanket I got at Target. This beautiful knitted throw came from Target. It is in the Studio McGee collection. The pillows came from Target with the exception of the Star Pillow, which I use almost every season, and I got it from Amazon. The olive leaf wreath came from Amazon. The wicker jar and the vintage books came from a thrift store. Gold tree came from Target. I believe it was in the Hearth and Hand collection. Now the big things that I bought were the rug, the chairs, and the coffee table. Between two rooms, I only spent $1,500 because these chairs were $218 a piece. The rugs were around $200, maybe $250. The coffee table was around $200, and so altogether with the two rooms, it was only around $1,500, which is good. So just remember that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a nice room. It's a matter of what you're choosing, not the price. Well, I hope you found this video helpful to you. If you have, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe so I can see you again. And here's another video to watch.